You're watching Morning at NTV.
Everyday Life
is brought to you by StarTime Sports, beyond passion.
Well, good morning and welcome back to Morning at NTV. My name is Idris Matu and this is Everyday Life. Now, most of us might be stuck in a place where we do not feel we've reached or we are successful enough. Now, today I have a special guest, Dr. Samuels Derrick, who is going to talk about how to empower your mind, the power that you have to actually reach your goals and achieve the most in your life. Dr. Derrick, you are welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
We are so honored that you're here.
Thanks.
So, you've been talking to so many youth in the world about how to empower themselves, how to achieve their goals. And today there is a book called Take Charge, 12 Life-Changing Principles of Success for the African Youth.
Yes.
How does someone gain success?
Now, that's a very good question. Success is defined by so many people in different ways. But one thing about success is a movement. That means you are at point A, you now move to point B as you planned. So that is success to so many people. Success is a deliberate act, but you provoke it by a desperate search for it, looking for it desperately. That's why I was telling people yesterday, if you didn't sow in 2017, don't expect to reap in 2018. There's nothing to reap in 2018 because you didn't prepare yourself 2017. Success comes by preparation. Success comes by preparation, by taking action. You prepare, you take action, you prepare, you take action.
There's something interesting I read at the back of the book.
Yes.
The book is called Take Charge. Is it available for
It's
sale?
going to be available. This is just the manuscript. It's going to be available when I come back, when they bring me back here sometime next year.
Next year. Now, at the back, there's something interesting that you wrote and said, in the school of success, goal setting is the breakfast of champions.
Yes.
Action is their lunch.
Yes.
And self-evaluation is their dinner.
Yes.
Goal setting, action, self-evaluation.
Yes.
How does someone do that?
I love that. You know, in the morning, we have breakfast. In the afternoon, we have lunch. In the evening, we have dinner. So in the school of success, your morning breakfast is goal setting. You don't just wake up in the morning and you start aimlessly. You set goals.
Yeah.
But, but what do you do with goals? You move. You take action. Because action is the only thing on earth that differentiates those who are making it from those who are faking it. If you have goals in the morning and you don't take action, you are fake. It's as simple as that. Whether in the government, whether in the corporate setting, whether at individual level, when you have goals that you are not acting on, you are fake. But at the end of the day, when you have set goals, when you have taken action, you do self-evaluation. Did it work? Did I achieve my goal? Did I achieve my result? If not, what else can I do? That is how we should live daily. You set goals, you take action, you evaluate yourself.
Evaluate yourself.
It's a continuous process.
Now, the book, Take Charge.
Yes.
12 life-changing principles of
Yes.
success. Can we go about the 12 principles?
It's going to be a lot here.
Yeah.
But you see, in the school of success, if you have intention and you don't pay attention to your intention, you end up in detention.
Doctor, repeat that.
In the school of success, if you have intentions,
Yes.
you want to achieve something, but you don't pay adequate attention to your intention, you end up in detention. Detention of hunger, detention of poverty, detention of begging. Why? Because you have intentions you are not willing to pay attention to. But if you pay attention to your intention, you become a distinction.
Oh, wow.
So intention plus attention that you're paying is equal to distinction. But when you have intention, you don't pay attention to it, you end up in detention. Trust me, a lot of people are in detention of hunger, of poverty, of unemployment because they have intentions they are not willing to pay attention to. That's the problem we have.
Oh, wow. Now, the book says for African youth.
Yes.
What inspired, because you are American, what inspired you to write about African youth?
I'm so excited you asked me this question. When I came to the TV show here about 5 months ago,
Oh, wow.
you know, anchored by Mabel, she was telling me about the challenges that the youth face. One of the challenges, she said, was a lot of the problem of unemployment. And that's what we call the jobless brotherhood. A lot of people wake up in the morning, they blame the government, they blame people, and they go about drinking and smoking, womanizing, all those things. And I said no. So when I got back to the US, I began to write about the youth in Africa. The reason why I could write it and why I think I'm qualified to write it, number one, I was born in Nigeria before I relocated to US decades ago.
Yes.
So I know the suffering. I know the hardship because I have gone through suffering. I have gone through hardship. It was in this same program that I told people there was a time when I graduated from university, mechanical engineering. There was no job in Nigeria then. What do I have to do? I became a bricklayer. I go to where they build houses to carry blocks.
Oh, wow.
I go to where they build houses to mix cement. You know, because I was not designed to beg. Lions are not beggars. If you're a youth in Africa, you are a lion. You are not designed to beg. Lions don't beg vultures for food. So because if you beg, it does not make you look like a lion. So that's why you must not beg. So that's why I began to write this book. How can we drive the youth out of the comfort zone of life? The comfort zone of life is not a prosperity zone. A lot of people are trapped in that level. How can it be in Africa? You are 20 years, you are 40 years, you are staying in your father's house. We cannot tolerate that. It's not in this generation.
Yeah.
I will not be part of those who will tolerate it in this generation. If you are 20 years above, leave your father's house, leave your mother's house, leave your uncle's house, go and suffer. A lot of us, that is how we started. We began to suffer, began to do all jobs. That's what I began to write in this book. I also began to address the issue of people trying to go overseas, try to cross the Mediterranean Sea because you want to go abroad and look for something better. You'll be surprised that the job you don't want to do in Uganda is actually the job you want to go and do either in London, either
Dubai.
in Germany, in Dubai, or even in the US. See, a lot of people, they don't want to clean the street here, but when you get there, you see people cleaning the street. You don't want to wash plates here, but when you get there, you're going to see people washing plates. That if you're even lucky to have a job where you can even wash plates. So why don't we do that in Uganda? These are the things, the mentality I'm trying to drive into the youth here in Uganda. Another mentality I'm trying to drive into the youth in Uganda is to say, hey, you don't have to wait for a big office to start a business. You see, when I hear people talk about, oh, you know, the people don't have job, why can't we drive job creating mentality to them? Why must it be that you must graduate to look for a job? Why can't we be thinking of graduate to set up a job? Or even while in the university, you're already doing something. A lot of people who succeeded, they succeeded when they were much younger.
Yes.
Okay? They began to do the unusual. That is exactly what we are talking about. We want to drive that mentality out of the people. You don't need $10,000 to start a business. There are some businesses you can start with 30,000 shillings. There are some businesses you can start with 20,000 shillings. So instead of you drinking beer, smoking with 20,000, with 40,000, with 50,000 shillings, that 50,000 shillings can start a business of recharge cards where you sell recharge cards. It can start that. It can start a business of little things here where you don't need to beg. You are not expected to beg.
Africa, we are land, and the doctor says we don't beg, so don't start now. Now, doctor, looking at the book again, I'm looking through the chapters.
Yes.
And one of the chapters, chapter 5, says the power of the bigger picture.
Yes.
What is the power of the bigger picture?
Your ability to see your tomorrow well enough is a bigger picture. The bigger picture is the power of vision. Vision is the only thing on earth that will help your energy, or that will keep your energy strong and stronger and stronger. If you don't have vision, you don't have energy. The reason why people like us have energy, we're not sleeping all night, we're not watching movie all night, is because of the bigger picture. When you see the bigger picture, you won't be watching movie for 10, 12 hours. When you see the bigger picture, you will not be all over doing nothing. When you see the bigger picture, you will not be all over gossiping and tackling and blaming the government. People like us don't blame the government because we have the future in our hands already. That's the power of the bigger picture. And one of the challenges we have, especially among the youth, they have not been able to see the tomorrow that they desire. You cannot see tomorrow and not move. It's not possible. If you're not moving, you have not seen. And if you're moving carelessly, you have not seen. The day you see your tomorrow, you will move. The day you see your tomorrow, you will take action. That is my desire for the youth. Whether you went to school or you didn't go to school, I want you to know that if you are able to capture exactly what you can do by your hands, with yourself, with the tools, with the skills that you have, the potential you have, you are able to capture exactly what you could do. That is the tomorrow we are talking about. That is the power of bigger picture. That's the power of vision.
The youth out there, the doctor is saying, have a bigger picture, have a vision. And going back to what we mentioned earlier, is the breakfast, setting goals. When you don't have a vision, you can't set goals.
Correct.
And doctor, I would like to go to another chapter, the power of the right mentality.
Yes.
So much of us, and you were talking about it, that most people will come out and say the government is not helping me, someone is not helping me do this. We keep on blaming other people for the wrongs that are happening in our lives. How do I change from that mentality to capture the right mentality, to drive me forward, to take charge and move to that better place?
Change is a process. Change is not automatic. It goes through process. And one of the process is to appreciate suffering. That's why I talked about in one of the chapters, the power of suffering. Whatever you are going through in Uganda, it may be very difficult, it may be a very big challenging thing, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing because through suffering you learn something. I learned a lot through suffering. Is it when I graduated? Is it when I was in the university and I had no money? Let me even tell you a little bit about that. In the university when I was there, my mom, like I said before, only sold her bicycle to send me to university.
Oh, wow.
So that's all she had. Now, with that little money, I went into school, year 1. But there was no money. I remember almost 3, 4, 5 days, I have not eaten. And you see, self-pity doesn't help you. Self-pity keeps you more in the pit. So when I had no money, after 3, 4, 5 days, I began to ask myself, what else can I do as a university student to overcome these challenges? I started going to people's houses, looking for who I can teach mathematics, who I can teach arithmetic, I can teach biology, who I can teach chemistry. And I found so many families that were willing for me to come to their house and teach their kids after school.
Oh, wow.
Money began to come. That is how it is. Imagine if I kept self-pitying myself. Oh, I'm so hungry. My parents don't have money. They left me in the university. No, life is about movement. If you don't move, you will stink. Many people are stinking because they are not moving. The water in the lake, the water in the kitchen sink, they don't smell well because they don't move. Anything that is deprived of life, movement is deprived of life. If you want freshness in your life, if you want to make progress in your life, you don't have to point finger to the government. You don't have to be pointing finger to other people. Point finger to yourself. There is something in every human. Whether you are from the east, from the west, from the north, from the south of this country, there is something in you that needs to be out there. You got to move to make it happen.
Quoting from Michael Jackson, he says, you have to start with the man in the mirror.
Yes.
And that's exactly what you're saying.
Correct.
Look at yourself and start. Now, going to another chapter, which is chapter 10, emotional stability.
Yes.
How does that play into moving and taking charge?
Yes. I'm so excited you talked about emotional stability because it's one of the chapters I wanted to write because of the challenges the youth face. You know, because of the upbringing of this age, technologically driven era that we are.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of issues, a lot of problems youth go through, and a lot of immaturity because these are the generation where a lot of people expect a lot from them, even from a younger age, compared to some years back. So it creates tension. It creates emotional instability and also financial difficulties. All those things, they create stress, and joblessness, they create stress. Now imagine you graduate from school, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you have no job, for example. It creates stress. It creates emotional problems. So now, how do we solve emotional problems? I give you an example of 2 university students from California. They went to Calcutta, India. One had emotion, the other one had vision. You see the power of vision. When you have vision, it helps you to cope with every form of emotion. The reason why people are emotionally disturbed or depressed is because their vision is not strong enough. People like us, you can't depress us anymore because we have seen tomorrow.
Yes.
I am undepressible. What do you do to a chewing gum? When you chew a gum and you chew a gum, what do? You spew that gum out. That is how life is squeezing a lot of people. But people like us, when you threw us out, we gather ourselves again and we keep going. Because we are like that gum that never get tired. That's exactly what we're talking about. Now, these two university students went to Calcutta, India. One had emotion, one had vision. When they got to India, they saw both of them saw millions of people without jobs. The one with emotion began to cry, oh, these people have no job, which there's no problem with being emotional. But the other one with vision said, what can I do to design a plastic shoe that is affordable so I can ship it to India? Two people seeing the same problem but interpreting it differently. When they got back to California, what happened? The guy with emotion began to go about like many people do. Oh, I went to Calcutta, India. They don't have shoes. They don't have clothes. They are suffering. Nobody could solve. That couldn't solve the problem. But the guy with vision went to a manufacturer and they began to design this shoe, an affordable shoe, and they began to ship this shoe to Calcutta, India, 25 cents each. In millions. What happened? His name is Tom McCann. Tom McCann, I'm sure you are wearing one of his shoes right now. Why? Because this man talked differently. The same thing that we are talking about. Emotion doesn't solve problems. What solves problem is your ability to capture that vision, ability to tap into the potential that you have. Because one thing that is so sure about every human, whether you are living with disability or not living with disability, there's something common to every human. There is something in you yearning to come out, and that is the potential in you. It could be you becoming a tailor, it could be you becoming a barber, it could be you becoming a farmer. That's why I'm telling the youth, you don't have to wait for job to come. Become a farmer, money will come. Become a barber, money will come. Become a Richard card seller, money will come. But for you to be begging for food and be pointing hands to government, to other people, they are the reason no, you are not going to make progress. You've got to move so that you don't stink.
Well, if you have just joined us, I am with Dr. Samuels Derrick, who is talking about empowering the mind, and in particular, the youth. Youth out there in Africa, you do not have to beg. You are lions.
Yes.
And in his book, Take Charge, he talks about the 12 life-changing principles of success for the African youth. Now, that takes me to chapter 1.
Yes.
Chapter 2, actually, the power of the youth.
Yes.
Do the youth know that they have the power to take charge?
That's a very good question. That is why a book like this is very, very important for them to know. Because in this book, I was talking about the ABC power, A to Z power. If you go through the ABC power, if you go through that, which is just a moment. You see, now look at that. The power of the youth. Look at that. Just read one for me.
Accept and appreciate who you are, what you have, and where you are. In my opinion, this is the foundation for an enduring success. Africa is good enough to become great. Your country is good enough to thrive. Your communities are good enough to distinguish your potential. But you must first appreciate where you are and, more importantly, place value on what you have and make use of it.
That's number A. So I wrote ABC on the power of the youth. You have to accept yourself. Okay? You have to. Nothing is wrong by being an African.
Amazing.
I'm an African. When I got my first job in the US, they did not advertise. Youth, if you're listening, it's very important. They did not advertise for that job. They didn't ask me to come. I took my resume to this university. I said, I am looking for opportunity here. And the woman said to me, the chair of the department said, who invited you? I said, nobody. I invited myself. He said, who told you we have problems here? I said, nobody. I look for problems to solve. Life is a bad movement. You see, that's why I was telling them yesterday. If you go to church on the 31st of December to pray so that God can bless you next year, the question is that what have you sown the previous year? If you did not sow the previous year, there is nothing to reap in the next year. That is how life is. So I went to this university, knocked at the door. They didn't invite me. And the woman said to me, oh, okay, what problems can you solve? I said, these are the problems I can solve. Do you know, right there, she called the professor who scheduled class. I am in. That is how I started my teaching career over there in the US. Oh, wow. They didn't invite me. I invited myself. I am asking you, youth, don't stay in your bedroom. Go and invite yourself. Go and recruit yourself. It's going to be difficult at the moment. You are going to cry. It's all right to cry. After all, the Bible said, they that sow in tears, crying, it said they shall come reaping with joy. Until you cry, you're not qualified for joy. Go out. I'm pushing you out because you need to do that. That's what I did. That's why I'm here.
Oh, wow. If you're out there and you are not inspired, because I am, and one of the things Doctor writes in his book, he says, believe and behave what you wish to become. So empower your mind and start doing and acting the way you want to become. And Doctor, before we leave,
Yes.
any last few words?
The word I have for you is, because I believe in success, I want you to know that you have something in you. I believe in success, and that's why I behave it. And because I behave it, I'm becoming it. In life, you can only become what you behave. You can only behave what you believe. And you can only believe what you behold. Life begins with vision. After vision, you take action. After taking action, you evaluate your action. Go back again. Go back again. That's how it is. Until you move, you will not remain fresh. So move. Enjoy a beautiful life ahead of you.
Now, you have to move and read a few books of Doctor, and some of the titles are The Power of Movement, The Power of Your Tomorrow, and The 10 Commandments of Success. Doctor, are these books available for buying?
It's already sold, almost sold out.
Oh, wow.
I've been here for 1 week now. I'll be leaving tomorrow. It's almost practically sold out. But one thing I have told them in Uganda here is that if you want to be a good Ugandan, you must patronize things made in Uganda. You can't say we want to create job in Uganda and you don't buy things made in Uganda. So I am going to be printing my books in Uganda so that we will have enough of that. We want to be able to give opportunity to Ugandans, but it means patronize the people of Uganda. It's okay to buy something from outside the country, but more importantly, the furniture makers in Uganda buy their furniture. The shoe makers in Uganda buy their shoe. The clothes maker in Uganda buy their clothes. If we begin to have that mentality, that is how to create jobs in Uganda.
Believe in Uganda first and be proud of who you are. If you're African, be proud of who you are. Do not think that there's something better out there. First, start with you. And probably, Doctor, so many people need to be reminded about certain things and their potential. You're such an inspirational talker and speaker. Is there a way that we could access your talks, or even a one-on-one, or is there a way?
Yes. First, visit my website, www.drderrick.org, or reach me by email, info@drderrick.org. That's how to reach me. I will be back here in a grand style. We are going to shake laziness out of our lives. Because laziness is the only thing that does not make you look like God. It does not make you look like Satan either. It makes you look like nobody.
Well, Take Charge will be on sale next year.
Yes.
That is.
Yes.
Right now, this is a manuscript of how you can take charge of your life. Have a very good morning. Wake up. Go do something. Idris Matu, you can follow us on Morning at NTV Facebook, or go to our official page, NTV Uganda Facebook, or our website, www.ntv.co.ug. And you can follow me on Idris Matu and say something to me, or ask me about what or who you would want to see on the show. Now, tomorrow we have more interviews. And remember, Friday is Super Friday. And later on the day, we have the Economic Summit. Now, don't miss, because you are going to miss a lot of information if you do not tune into NTV Uganda. Have a very good morning. Idris Matu,